Waiting. Here we go. Hi, everybody. It's Chris here. Welcome back to the World Cup Daily Spreadsheet Show. It's day 2. Just been looking at some of the stats from day 1. We've had over 1,000 people watching. That's fantastic. Hundreds of people downloading the download file. Thanks so much for your support, guys. Just getting started. Good morning, Ian.
Good morning. How are you? Good morning, everybody. Lovely to see you all. Thank you. Yeah, amazing numbers, Chris. See, I'm still in Qatar, still out there, son.
I think by the end you'll have the full local gear on. You know.
I mean, England. I was thinking this morning. I took the old dog out. England enter the fray today. I expect they've sold out of tea towels in Scotland this morning, haven't they?
Yeah, is that why you got the white shirt on? Yeah?
White for England today, son. Yeah. Whilst I don't watch them, I'm still, wear the colours with pride, son.
Absolutely.
But yeah, you'll have more Iranians in Scotland today than you will in Iran, probably. There we go.
Good stuff. So as always, let's say hi to people who are tuning in. So good morning, Lee. Lee's first in the chat. How are you doing, my friend? Steve's tuning in. Yeah, we had a little bit of a technical glitch getting started, but we should be good to go now. So hopefully we're coming through strong. Good morning, Scott. How are you doing? Good morning, Lee Stanyland. How are you getting on? CG is with us. How are you doing? Snipperson is with us. Darren is with us. Good morning, Darren. Shane is with us. How are you doing? Pedro tuning in from Lisbon. I think it's the first time I've seen you, Pedro. Big welcome to you. TN is with us, saying great job by you guys yesterday. Thank you very much. We enjoyed it. Rodney tuning in. How you doing, Rodney? Good to have you with us. David tuning in. And Barry tuning in. And Jeff tuning in as well. Scott says, all good in the hood. Fantastic stuff.
Lots of Lee's a very popular name, isn't it? I love the one at the bottom. That's the one. Joe Browninski. There you go. Great. Coincides with the first tenants of the day.
That's the way to get started. Paul tuning in. How you doing? Is that Perth in Scotland, Paul?
Yeah, Joe's in Scotland, Paul's in Scotland. They've all got their headdresses on, I'm telling you.
Yeah, and Anish as well. Yeah. Big welcome to you, Anish. So as always, just a few notices to get through to begin with. We work off a download file, an Excel download file, which is available to you. As I said, we've had plenty of people downloading that, but it is available for free. You do have to put in your email and you'll receive a promotional email about our Excel VBA for Football Traders community. So yeah, if you're enjoying what we're doing, guys, then definitely check out our Excel VBA for Football Traders community. It's a unique
in the corner.
It's a unique learning community for people like you working with football data, looking to accelerate their learning. So the data file is there for download. We were having a chat this morning. We might release updated versions of the data file, including the analyses we do in these sessions. And there's something else new in the data file that we'll show you in just a second. Now we've got our disclaimers. I should have said this at the beginning of yesterday's session. In the video description, there's a couple of disclaimers. The first disclaimer is we're not encouraging anybody to bet. This is entertainment and education. Don't lose your money. And the second thing is, we don't endorse the location of this World Cup, and you can read more about that in the video description below. With that said, I think we're ready to jump into today's analysis. So let's get the file in here. So what are our fixtures today, Ian? I'm going to go ahead.
Let's just start with yesterday's, Chris. We got a little. We're going to maintain the results. Yep. Obviously, the guys who follow any advice, Ecuador did score 2 goals. The goal came a bit early. Qatar, as I said on the FTS pod on Saturday, are a pub side. And those of you who backed Qatar to finish rock bottom, I mean, the 1.19 now is still too big. So you can obviously, if you've removed your liability, or be cracking on. But you're going to keep a nice little results sheet for us, Chris, and we'll take that forward and move it into some league tables and things. I've got lots planned for you. But the first game of today sees the old fraud up, son. Old fraud come up.
Oh dear, here we go. I think you do some therapy about this one, Ian. I think you're a bit unfair to old Gareth, but anyway.
Well, I'm not.
I've got the fixtures up.
I can assure you that I am not unfair to him. So England versus Iran. I mean, this should be an absolute walk in the park for England. But on terms of a little Excel task, what we want you to do, before I talk about the game a bit more, let's get you straight into it. Can we pull out England's group games and break it into first and second half goals for us?
Okay, pulling out England's group games. Right, okay. Let's throw this one out to the chat. Yeah, we're talking about data transfer essentially, aren't we? There, we're looking to take some data. We've got our data set. We don't want to view all the data, so we're looking to take some data out. So yeah, in the chat, guys, how would you do this? It must be something you're doing all the time. You know, you only want to look at fixtures from a particular league, fixtures from a particular team. So what's your approach for doing this? There's a few options in Excel. None of them are particularly, you know, I don't think there's any perfect option, but there's a few different ways to do it. The most obvious way is to put filters on your data set. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Select all the data, holding down Control and Shift, right and down, and then Alt-A-T. Means we've now got filters on the data set. So we're interested in the countries, but I can see we actually want to filter by 2 columns here. So I'm not sure if my approach is going to work thinking about this.
Here we go. Here we go. We got him rolling in the aisles already.
Getting the excuses in. Here we go. So yeah, but let's see if we can filter by the home fixtures anyway.
Barry Walker says D-sum with a team selection cell.
Yes, I do like it, Barry. Yeah, D-sum is one of our favorite formula here at Tiger and in Excel VBA for football traders. This would it be possible with D-sum? It would be possible to get that kind of summary analysis, but you actually want to display the fixtures, don't you? Yeah, you actually want to see the fixtures in a data set if possible. Okay. Okay, so we've got filtering. Now, what about the filter formula, Ian? Are you using the filter formula?
Talk to me in English.
Okay. So let's go Alt-OHR here. So we'll call this S2. We did have a question coming in just before we get into the filter formula. Arnie's saying, curious as to why you chose 2002 rather than 1998, which is 64 games. Why did we do that, Ian?
I think we just thought we'd use like 20 years of data. I think we did go through it, and that was where we went back from. I don't think there was any rocket science to it. 1998, no one remembers it. The French won it.
Yep, that's when Beckham kicked Simeone, yeah? Yeah.
Oh, hang on, we're getting told filter formula is going to blow my mind.
Yeah, okay. So filter formula comes with a bit of a word of warning, which is it's only available in Excel in recent versions of Excel. So basically in Excel 365, and that begs the question, what's the best version of Excel to have? Well, I'm not an Excel affiliate or anything. Clearly, I think the software is incredibly useful, but I'm not paid to say this. I think really having Excel 365, the value for money, I think it's £5, £6, £7, £8 a month. I think it's well worth it. And it does get you the latest stuff in Excel. Now, do you absolutely need the latest stuff? No, you don't. The latest stuff doesn't do anything that you couldn't do using other techniques, but it does do it a little bit faster, particularly if you're not using stuff like VBA as well. You get some of that, just a little bit of that power using some of the new stuff. Now, one of the new formulae came in 2019, is the filter formula. And the idea of the filter formula is it gives you the power of a filter, just like the filter I've put on here, using a formula. The bad news is I'm not very good at it. I don't use filter much. Like Ian knows, I'm not a big fan of filtering, and I tend to do things with VBA, this kind of thing. But it's all about learning, isn't it? And I'm going to do a little bit of learning this morning. I'm going to see if I can get the filter formula working. And you'll see exactly what I do if I can't get a formula working. I go online. That's all an important part of being an analyst, being able to deal with problems like that. So with my excuses made, let's go ahead and just type in filter.
I'm excited because I've never even heard of this.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, never heard of it.
Okay. So yeah, how do you get to know a new formula? Well, the first step is just type it in, check you've got it on your system. If you're not getting these prompts, then you're probably using an older version of Excel. You won't have filter. But we've got 3 prompts with filter, not particularly helpful, but it says array, and array is just a computer programmer word for a range of data, a data set. Then we've got this include argument, and include is where we're going to tell Excel what rows to include. Just like when we put a filter on, we have to go through that really clicky process of choosing a team or choosing a league. We're going to do that programmatically. We're going to do that using a formula. And there's some particular notation we have to use. We'll go through that. And then we've got this final argument, which, yeah, if the filter returns nothing, so nothing conforms to the requirements you've put in the filter, then you've got an optional argument there to say something like no data or something like that. So we don't need to worry too much about that last one, but the first 2 definitely. So as with many formulae, including dsum previously mentioned in the chat, we've got to specify the data array we want to look at. Now, when doing this, when putting together any formula, really, I would recommend removing the filters. So Alt-AC allows us to remove the filters here. And that just ensures we have all of the data selected when we select the range. Okay, so let's go equals filter. And then let's go array. So I'm going to use the keyboard shortcuts to navigate back to the input sheet. So we're building formula across sheets. Control-Shift right, Control-Shift down. Do you need to include the column headers? Not absolutely sure, but let's put them in. And then we've got this include idea. Now, the basic concept here is, yeah, we specify what we want to filter out. And the idea is we give Excel the column that we want to use to do the filtering, and then we tell Excel the value we want to filter by. And then I think we put an equals in, although I may have to check this on the internet. So what column do we want to filter by? So that's going to be home team, but this is going to be a little bit problematic, isn't it? Because the we're going to have to find a way, yeah, to look at both the team A and team B at the same time. So I'm going to say this column, Control-Shift down. I'm being very careful here. Do I have the same rows as with some ifs? We saw yesterday these row selections have to be accurate. If not, you're just going to get an informative error. So I believe, might have to check this. If we type in equals England here.
Spelling's improved overnight.
Not the typing though. There we go. Something like that. As I said, I might have to check this. But what happens when we just hit enter there? Going to hit enter, and there it is.
That's impressive. Like that, Chrissy.
Did seem to work well. So that's the filter formula, only available in Excel 365 at the moment. Now, if you start using these are called dynamic array formulae. In 2019, a bundle of new formulae came in. They're called dynamic array formulae. Filter is one of them. Unique is another one, incredibly useful. And then we've got sort. So you can actually do this and sort data at the same time. So in the background, it'll sort the data for you too, Ian, which is pretty cool. So do check these out. Don't obsess about new formulae in Excel. There's other ways to get stuff done, but if you do have access to Excel 365, this could be helpful. So this gets us where England is team A, I believe it was. This gets us the fixtures. So because our data set is static, not dynamic, because we're not adding to this data set, this year's fixtures we're going to put on a separate sheet. That does simplify matters, so we don't have to worry about the size of the data set changing. That may or may not be realistic to your normal kind of, league-based football where you're going to be chucking fixtures in every week. There's workarounds for that. I'm sure we're going to touch on all of this at some point. So if we try another filter formula and then work through the process again, so some great repetition here. Excel gets better with repetition formula building. This is a skill. And once again, Control-Shift right, Control-Shift down. So that's our array, that's our data set, and then comma. So I'm keeping an eye on the prompts here, and Excel's asking for include. So Excel is saying, what column do you want me to look at? and then what's the criteria? So what piece of data do you want me to include? So now we can go for team B and Control Shift down. What are we looking out for here? Do the rows match up? Now, I've popped a mistake in here, not deliberately, but because I'm checking as I'm going, I can see we've got an error here. Would that mess everything up? Not absolutely sure, but why not just hide it up now? So we've got row 6325 and then row 6325. And then once again, equals England here. It's just going to get us our data set here. So, okay, so that's allowed us to kind of fabricate a mini data set. And yeah, it is kind of not a particularly elegant solution. As I said, if you're added to the data, you would have problems. You'll get what's called a spill error. I'm just wondering if I can quickly demonstrate this if I type something in there. Yeah, look out for this spill error. This might be completely new to you, but this error is unique. There's a pun for the Excel people. It's unique to dynamic array formulae. Now, spill means I'm trying to create an array below this row, and the range I want to use, the real estate I need to access, there's already something there. So I can't spill down. This is the technical word for what Excel's trying to do. It's trying to spill this formula down into the rows below. Can't do it because there's a pre-existing value. So you're going to get this quite alarming spill error if you've never seen it before. So that's just something to look out for. So if, for example, you were like, okay, I want to try this with a different team, you might find that that team has a different number of fixtures, and then you might get that spill error. So it's still kind of a semi-automated way of doing things, but if we're staying in Excel, then and not getting into VBA, then there isn't yet a super powerful and super elegant way to do this. So, what do you think, Ian? Are we getting there?
I'm impressed so far. Yeah, I like that. I've never seen that before. That is quite impressive. What you've done there. I like that.
Yeah, good stuff.
Right, let's pull out some meaningful data. Group games only.
Yeah, let's do it. I'll just deal with a couple of queries on a couple of comments on the filter formula. So yeah, Lee says, can't you add the asterisk as an add-on when using frequency formula? I think that is. Yeah, I think you can. So if you wanted an approximate match here, or if you wanted to say text contains rather than an exact match I've gone for with the text, you could use something like an asterisk there. And Barry's saying, okay, if we entered J and K equals in England, would that pick up both sets? I think there is a way to do this, picking up both sets. And maybe at the end of the stream, I've just come up with an idea for doing this using the filter formula. So we've currently used two different formulae, you see, which is a bit of a cheaty way to do it. And we might be able to do it using a single formula. But for now, let's push on with a bit of data analysis, and let's keep Ian happy, because the man's hungry for some. He's hungry for some analysis here, I can see.
Come on.
Okay, so what we say, so groups.
Yeah, we don't need to worry about semi-finals and finals at all, because we're not going to get there. But let's have a look at the group. Hey. Let's focus on what we're dealing with today.
Already getting stuck into Gareth.
Huh?
Already getting stuck into Gareth. So we've got no chance of making.
It's only going to get worse as we go on.
I should have said, there's actually there's a poll today in YouTube. I set up a poll. So what stage do you think England are going to get to? You should be able to see it at the top of the YouTube chat. So we'll have a look at that at some point too. So we only want the group ones. Wondering how to do this. Okay, I think the easiest way is actually just to update this formula by putting another criteria in here. So if we say, what column are we looking at here on the input file? Okay, so it's on H. So where H equals group. Okay, so with the filter formula, I can put in, I believe, as many criteria as I want.
You can add more, can you? Oh, that's impressive.
Yes, yes, but you have to put them in brackets, and I believe we multiply them, although I'm way out of my depth with this formula.
Oh, this is good now. We've got him absolutely on the ropes now.
Seriously. Okay. Was it column I for the group stuff?
It's yeah, H is. It's H.
H. So I'm hoping this is going to reduce it to only the group fixtures, or it might be more likely I'll get an error here. Okay, there we go. Yep, that did seem to work. So I've only got the group fixtures now. So this formula, I'm going to go Control C, F2, Control V. Okay, that gives me the spill. That's because I've got to get rid of this formula here. Okay, then once again, put this in. Can I just nick it from this formula quickly? It's just the last bit I want, just the last bit. That's going to be the same across the two formulae. Okay, and then we do need some.
Please have a Steve Elliott, Ian, you need a background with the last time Southgate won a trophy. I'm assuming that's in the Middlesbrough days, Steve. Long time ago. A picture of Southgate missing that penalty. A picture with him with that pizza bag's more accurate.
I've got to do some debugging here.
Oh, there we go. We've messed up here, haven't we? It's because you got H in there instead of K. So.
H instead of K?
Yeah.
There we go.
The other one. On one of them you've got K, and one of them you've got.
Yeah. Well, that's bringing team A and team B and team B.
Right.
Yeah. You see, it was an error with the rows there. 325, 325, 5 to 325, 6 to 325, 6 to 325. Okay. Yeah, I don't think that's a problem. Okay. So this should be all of England's group games. Does that look about right in terms of the number?
Yeah, is the R column H here now? What's that number? Is that the date?
That should be the date. Yeah. Can we go ahead and format here?
Just might make it a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
There we go.
There we go.
3 2002s, 3 2006s, 3 2010s, 3 2000. Yep, you're all right. You're good to go now.
Okay. Whew. Good. Okay, so we've got a little data set.
Right. Do you want further instructions?
Yes, please.
All right, sort it by date.
Jeez. Do we have to sort by date?
Huh?
Do we have to sort by date? Can we possibly do that later?
Well, you talked yesterday of having tidy data sets, didn't you? You talked about, I try and get Ian to have tidy data sets, and then you present me this garbled mess.
I agree. Well, we could convert it to values because it looks like normal data, doesn't it? And this is a bit of a problem.
But if you didn't want to, couldn't you just copy and paste it as values?
You could, but then that loses the formula. The fact it's a formula, and if you want to look at different teams and stuff.
Right. Okay. Well, let's pull out. What I want to try and get to is England's opening group game. Each one.
Yeah.
I can't.
He's in combative mood this Monday morning. No, it's good stuff. I love it. Don't worry.
I want to show you something in patterns.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, this analysis it's going to be a little bit kind of as I said, cobbled together, a little bit bespoke, quick and dirty.
Guys.
But
no. Joe's really made me laugh. He has really made me.
Here we go. Who's going to have the best setup by 1 o'clock? I think we need a hashtag for this on Twitter.
That's quality. Oh dear.
Okay, we got all the World Cup years here. Just to have a quick look at this unique formula. So unique.
Can we find if we, that search thing? If we put Scotland, would it just show blank? Nothing there, would there?
It would work with the top formula, but because we don't know how many. Scott, you're taking the mickey, aren't you?
just asking a question. I'm just scrolling through the sheet, and I'm not sure I can see Scotland.
Well, that's why we need.
They must be there because Costa Rica are there, and you can't be worse than them, can you? Saudi Arabia, They must be there somewhere. Anyway, yes, go on. Do what you were doing.
Well, this is where we have the third argument in filter, which is if we say something like that, that would ensure against that. Anyway, yeah. So what about unique? Now, Ian, you're unique, but are you using the unique formula?
I've never seen this either. No.
Okay, here we go. So this is
Chris,
another.
You know, I'm a creature of habit, son. I
know.
I do the same things.
You're pretty good at Excel. You're pretty good at Excel, but you should be using more keyboard shortcuts. I'm going to test you on yesterday's keyboard shortcut at some point as well. But unique, you can just select some data, yeah, and it's just going to bring out the unique values.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've just selected the years, and then we just got the years in there.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so I want to find the first. These got to be in date order, haven't they? I see what you're saying.
I only said that I said that like 20 minutes ago. Darren, that is flipping terrible, son. That.
Okay, let's see what we can do here.
We should actually have the power to kick people out if they're going to come up with nonsense like that joke there. That is awful. Iran brew. It's just terrible. It's just awful.
Let's just have a moment of appreciation there. Puns are very much welcome. Do you remember the other week on Twitter I punned you with the Forest Spurs game?
Yeah, it was terrible as well.
Got a Jesse Lingard against errors in the data.
Come on, let's get this game.
Okay,
these guys want to
right. So
kick off in a minute.
Okay, Alt HOH 45 HW. Trying to find the date of the first game. Now, my idea for this would be to use min ifs, because the the lowest. So effectively, the oldest date. The first game is going to be the oldest date, isn't it? Which is going to be the minimum number in it. So we do that with minimum ifs. That's going to give us the minimum value according to certain criteria. Same concept as same concept as sum ifs or average ifs that we were looking at yesterday. Criteria range 1 here, and keep an eye on these references, guys. So F4 key.
It's good. I like this. I like this. You're doing. I thought I might catch you out this morning, but you're doing all right.
Okay.
Eh?
Let's see how we do.
Very, very Iran heavy group all of a sudden.
Flying. Okay, that's what it's all about, though. Control C, Control Alt V T here. Okay, Alt HOI, auto size that. Yeah, nice. Okay, so tournaments.
Good. This.
They've got data first game. So now, got the data of the first game. There's various ways we could do this now, but we've got a point in the data set. We've got a row that we can reference. So you could do this using VLOOKUP. What's the specific information you're looking for, Ian? Is it the number of goals?
No, I want the whole lot. England result, match result, goals.
Okay.
Oh, I love this. This is just absolutely beautiful.
Got a phone call coming in from the Excel gods, trying to help me here. Okay, let's do. Yeah, so we can look up by this date. So it's okay. So the information we'd want is yeah. It's gonna be tricky.
Why don't you just take the whole row? Can you take the whole row? I don't know.
It's easier to take specific information.
Is it live TV? Live TV.
Yeah. So what's the specific stuff we want?
Goals, match result. Half-time goal, first half goal, second half goals, match result.
That's it. Okay, so I want to look up this date in this data set. So VLOOKUP. So our lookup's got to be in the leftmost column in our data set. Control-Shift right here. The column index number here 4. I'm just going to put column 1 to begin with, and then I'm going to put something in to help here with the column numbers. Otherwise, it's going to take years to do this. So column numbers. So I just want to know, according to the reference I've just made, what's each column number here. So if I say,
we've got a legend in our midst. Alistair's come in to tell us how to get the games out.
oh yeah, well there we go. That's what we need.
The input
For
people.
expert. Okay. So home goal should be in.
Alistair, that call we're having might be delayed. Arnie's put Scotland were in the 1998 comp. That's why we left it out, Arnie. I knew there was a reason. That's why it was.
See what we need. We need this and that.
Oh, I've got him absolutely on the ropes here. This is
hanging in there. Hanging in there.
You see what I'd do? I'd just sort them by date and then copy and paste the top row of each year.
Yep. Right. So goal total, A goals is in 12 and B goals is in 13.
Oh, you've put column numbers at the top, like it. Okay.
Yeah. These some absolute references in here.
I like this. This is, to be fair, you're doing this. This is clever. I'll give credit where it's due. Surely that can't be right, though. Might be. Right? It might be. I don't know.
There's our bet, eh? Home goals. So there's quite a lot of ones there. The first one should be. First one is first game in 2002.
Well, let's get it in and then we can have a look. Let's get it in and get them all, get all the data in, and then we'll have a look. Get the match result in. I'll soon tell you if it's right or wrong then when we see the lot.
True. Oh, that's not right.
Come on, son. Oh,
okay.
Goals.
That seems to be accurate, doesn't it? Right. So 2nd of June, was it 1-1?
I'll tell you what, I'll see how because we've pulled it out in a different, we've not pulled the teams, have we? So we don't know which one of those is England goals and which one isn't. I've got you now.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Again, 1-1. The draw, and yes, it was 1-1, that first one. First one seems to be accurate. Second one, 10th of June 2006, 1-0 to Team A.
Oh, we're all over it.
Game 1-0 to Team A. To be accurate. Let's try 2018. Did England win 2-1 in their first game in 2018 World Cup? 18th of June 2018, Tunisia.
Yeah, nicked it at the death.
Did they?
Harry Kane at the death, son. 90th minute.
Houti, sorry.
Huh? Who is he?
It's Houti, yeah.
He's your golden boot winner, son.
I know.
Huh?
I know. Spurs legend, of course. Okay. So, right. So we've got the goals coming out, the total goals. Do we know which one? Do we need to know which one of these is England?
It would be handy to know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we've got time. We're going about half an hour. So we've got time. England. So let's go Team A. Team B. Okay, so if we take this across, and then Team A is in on 2. Team B is in column 3.
That's it. Paraguay was when Andy Murray wore. That's when he was done. That's when he was finished.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And he had his Paraguay flag wrapped around him. Yeah, now we're getting there.
Okay. Okay, cool. So, and shall we have England goals then?
Yeah.
England.
And perhaps you want to summarise what you've done for these people then. You've got them.
I'll try. Definitely got me warmed up on a Monday morning. Are you going to watch the games today, though? Are you going to watch England?
I'm not watching a game. I'm not watching 1 minute of the World Cup.
And then England goals.
I haven't watched an England game since they lost to Croatia in the last World Cup.
So were you a bit of a fan before then?
Massive fan. Massive. I always said I'd rather see England win the World Cup than
Really?
Tottenham win the league. But I can't handle this clown. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We were close, weren't we, in 2018?
I don't know whether we've lost people now.
It's been quite technical.
I apologise. This is on me. I apologise for that.
That's all good. I mean, it's going to be a mix, isn't it? There's going to be some more technical streams. There's going to be some lighter streams. So, we just got to roll with it, I think. England goals 2-1. Change some of these. Check that's coming through properly. Yeah, so I think we've got the England goals then, Ian.
Right. That's impressive, isn't it? 2 against Tunisia, and that's it.
So England. So what's this making you think then in terms of potential positions?
What I would do next, I'd pull it in the first and second half goals. I'm seeing things like England 4-0, England 3-0 from a football punting point of view now. I don't think there's an absolute any chance of that. I think we are going to see they're going to beat Iran, but 1-0, 2-0 probably at absolute best. Iran are just going to set themselves up really hard to beat today. And I mean, England have barely scored a goal. I mean, we scored 3 against Germany, but you go back before that, lost 1-0 to Italy, 4-0 to Hungary, was it? Hungary beat us twice, 1-0, 0-0 with Italy. All this talk of us scoring 3, 4 and 5 goals. My view in this game, punting wise, is I'd hope it gets to half time 0-0, maybe 1-0, and I'd probably play a second half goal. So what we'll go into, what we want to take this is to getting the teams and first and second half goals. I don't see England starting fast. I think Iran are going to be, it's going to be a sort of war of attrition for me, that England are going to really have to work hard to wear them down. Southgate, because of the lad we've got, will be cautious first, can't help himself. That's the way he is. So he won't be all out. You know, it will still be, let's be sit tight at the back, lads, keep it tight. Sterling running down channels. But I wanted to show you all these. What we wanted to get was actually how low scoring England's opening games are. And we did just nick. I mean, Tunisia, it was right at the death, literally before the final whistle. And I don't see it being any different today. I think it'll be 1-0, 2-0 at an absolute maximum. And I wouldn't be piling in the goal markets, but I would wait. I do think England will prevail, but I think it's going to be a slow burner. And I would probably play this game in the second half. If I was playing, I'm not going to play it at all.
Good stuff. Yeah, I mean, it did feel very laboured the way I was doing that analysis, and no doubt there's an easier way to do it. But that, to me, is really insightful. That just never occurred to me. And I mean, I think I was vaguely aware that England generally don't start well, but the fact that they score so few games in their opening fixture, so few goals, you know, their opening fixture, you know, it does come through fairly clearly there, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. I mean, they've only won. I mean, when you break those down into results, they drew with Sweden, they beat Paraguay, drew with the US, lost to Italy. So they sort of go win, then don't win. They beat Tunisia last time. So if they keep that pattern up, they're due not to win this game. And I think that obviously, you know, people are going to say I'm down on him, but, you know, the results are playing out as the results are playing out. That is what's happened in English football over the last, you know, 3, 4, 5 months. I think it's going to be a real struggle. And my pre-tournament bet was Iran to get out the group. So I do think this is going to be a tough old game today. I'm not, as I say, I'm not going to watch it, but I think it'll be a tough old game. But that is how I play it. But really what we want to do with this data set on an Excel point of view is be able to pull out now teams and how they've got on and goals to start looking at it on that sort of level. Whereas yesterday we did group games overall and see it.
Yeah, so be able to select any team and get this analysis.
And get that sort of analysis and be able to say, yeah, particularly as you go a bit deeper into it. But if we just link back to yesterday's for the second game of the day.
Second game of the day, which is, let's have a look.
Which is Senegal versus Netherlands.
Yep.
At 4 o'clock. So yesterday we just did group games overall. Goals per game. If you go to our S1, you'll see what we did.
Yeah.
So is there a way now quickly in those count ifs, because I'm just conscious of time, England will now win 4-0. Steve Elliott, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. If England win 4-0, I will come on tomorrow with humble pie, but it ain't going to happen. Maguire at the back, flipping dearie me. Can we pull out group games where Senegal or Netherlands are involved, which would literally, I would imagine, on these just adding another little criteria on the end, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Just in this table.
Yeah, just do the 1.5. Yeah. I mean, Netherlands didn't play the last one, but
yeah, the difficult thing is the difficulty I'm having, which I felt this morning, is there's two team columns. You see,
yeah.
Difficult. So, but let's just do it for one column, and then you could do the same analysis for the other column. And like,
okay, yeah. Let's see. We can need to tidy that up. It's all about having your data right. Yeah,
but would there be a way to do that? The teams have to be in 2 columns, don't
they? Yeah. No, I'm only winding you up.
Yeah. Here we go. So we'd have to take, let's say team selection. Let's put team here.
I don't know whether they're in there as Holland or Netherlands.
Netherlands, I think. Try Senegal. They've been in enough World Cups, haven't they? So what we've got count ifs, and then these are just percentages. Okay, so it's these top 3 formulae. So this one, as you said, we want to move from single criteria to multiple criteria. So we go count ifs here. Okay, so that can just sit there as a criteria. So next one is going to be team A. So we just do this for team A, but we're saying you'd have to do this for both columns. You'd have to have separate formulae, I believe, to do this. And then one thing we haven't been doing so far is using a cell to specify the criteria rather than actually typing that into a formula. So if we type it into the formula, you'll call it something like a hard-coded approach because it's more difficult to manipulate later. There we go. What have we got here? Yeah, you see the problem there. You see that the rows. So we've got H6 to 325. Then we've got J5 to 325. So should be able to fix that. Okay. So it looks weird having 2 group games, doesn't it? But that's because we're only looking at one of those columns. So can we just, if I put a little F4 here, shouldn't be too long, this one, Ian. These as well. So fixing the column ranges here.
Look at this. I've just absolutely phased him this morning with all of it, haven't I?
Try me.
Huh?
Try me, seriously. We get that across. That seems to make sense.
What you can see, it's like my podcast. There's loads of prep goes into these.
Yeah. Well, we try to keep it organic, don't we?
That's the word.
Yeah.
Alistair's coming with this. He's just tidying us all up.
There we go. So the 2 group games for Senegal in that. Seems to make sense. And the way we set it up, we should be able to just type this in here.
I think we get about 9 games across the lot for Senegal.
9 games. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so we'd have to, as I said, I don't think we should do it, but you'd have to. The only way I can see to do it anyway, without going into VBA and stuff, would be to duplicate these formulae and then to either add up and divide these figures.
So this is for column. This is for column team A. What you've done there.
That's right.
And you'd have to do again the same for team B.
Yeah. Wouldn't take too long, but it's never good. I try to keep things as lean and mean as possible.
Derek McGinty said, "Can we do the Scotland data?" You download that sheet, Derek. See if you can find them. It's like, where's Wally, son? Where's Scotland?
Yeah. Good.
I just want to get a price up for this game. Hold on a second. Netherlands.
Okay.
Let me just go see. Fully organised. My Betfair's still on Qatar, Ecuador yesterday. Monday the 21st, Senegal, Netherlands. And we've got to, because I will get absolute pelters, Chris, we've got to spend 5 minutes talking about Wales. Because if I don't talk about Wales, I'll get absolutely crucified.
Oh, they're starting today as well?
Yeah, Wales today.
Oh, okay.
Against the US.
Good. Yeah. Yep. So
right, so we did group game goals yesterday. I don't know whether you can just go to tab 1, Chris. So we did group game goals there on S1 where we had, we've changed it now, but it was 1.41 for the implied goals for group games at this stage.
Yep.
Obviously, I would, if we'd had more time, I would like to have filled that formula completely, because I do like this game today. I think Holland are going to be sneaky good in this tournament.
That's 1.41 hit. Yep.
They're probably the biggest nation to not win the World Cup. Lost 3 finals, didn't make it last time, but Van Gaal, the one before that, got them to the semis. I do like, with Senegal missing Mane, I do like over 1.5 goals. The bet I gave yesterday in this game, I would be betting it on 20, 27 and 35 minutes. Netherlands versus Senegal, dripping it in, and remove my liability on a point, on a goal, on a point, on a goal. There you go. Jesus Christ. Remove my liability on a goal. So I do like that for that. But I think what we'll do tomorrow is examine this bit of getting the team info out. For this sort of bet, because obviously we've got a load of group games to come. And then we get to the US versus Wales. And got a few FTS members on
7 o'clock tonight. Yep.
Yeah, got a few FTS Welsh members who claim I don't talk about them enough. I spend a lot of time digging the Scots out. I've been told they are definitely qualifying, apparently. I mean, I don't know how, if England and Iran qualify, unless they're changing the rules in Qatar, I don't know how that's possibly going to happen. But they are very reliant, obviously, on Gareth Bale, who's making cameo performances in the MLS. Aaron Ramsey, you can't get in anybody's team anymore. I think up front, the US have some decent players. Pulisic in particular. I mean, I don't understand how he doesn't play more for Chelsea. Pulisic, I think he's a good player. Saw him at Dortmund when I was out there a couple of times. I see this being a draw today. I don't see Wales winning this game. I see this being a draw. So this is one where I may back the draw and then just remove my liability as the game goes on. I do see this game being a draw today. So England, I think, a slow start, and I would look to back 1 goal, maybe 1.5, but I'd probably look second half. I probably wouldn't do anything first half. I think that'll be a war of attrition. I like over 1.5 goals, Netherlands game, and I like the draw in Wales versus the US. Right, have you got any other? Do you want to talk about that message you created this morning?
Certainly want to pick up on a couple of comments in the chat about the data set. Yeah. So absolutely. I mentioned yesterday getting the right structure in the data set that can save you so much faff later on. Although some of the faff, I think this morning, faff is a technical word for inefficiently spent programmer time, but there was a lot of faffing around this morning, and some of that's inevitable because of the team A, team B thing. But certainly, like, paying attention to the structure of the data. And Alistair is saying, it would be good to have the halftime scores in the data set. Yeah, we'll see if we can do that. I'm working on the ELO rankings at the moment. I'm working on getting those in the data set. So we'll look to gradually improve it as we go through.
Yeah, and just to show this, like, we don't actually rehearse this. I am just throwing stuff at him that I would want to see. I'm not trying to make him look daft. I'm just trying to actually say, how do we do this? I mean, that filtered thing I've never seen. I think that's brilliant, that filtered formula.
Well, for me, I mean, there'll be people here who just watch the Tiger stuff as well, Ian, as well as kind of football guys, and they know the way that I do things on the channel. It's always like this because what we're trying to do is show the kind of situation that the people are watching know that you'll be in all the time when you're, struggling with data and the kind of processes you have to go through, finding the right formula, changing the formats. That's the real stuff. So I think it's really important to demonstrate that. I'm more comfortable doing it that way than doing all the prep and making it all really smooth, because in the real world, that's not how it works, is it?
No, that's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I've got a greater appreciation when I'm giving you stick now.
Well, that's something, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, but in terms of what we've done, just quickly to summarize that, I think this filter formula, we had a good suggestion from Alistair here as well. You could create a new sheet for your filter data using that filter formula. I did mention I kind of cobbled together two formulae here. So a challenge would be, could we get all of the data, bearing in mind that we've got one team in this column, one team in this column. Could we use that filter formula to get all of the data we need? Now, I think you could do that with filtering, because the filter formula, it allows and operations, and it also allows or operations. So I think you could say to filter, include a row if the team is in this column, or the team is in this column. I think that's possible. Not an expert on the filter formula, but that's something to look at. Yeah, so once you've got your filtered data set, you can then go ahead and do some more analysis. What was the main? Well, the basic concept here, use the unique formula first, of course. And then we got the data the first game using min ifs. That was a bit cheeky. I forgot about that one. And then now we've got our data point. Now we've got a starting point in the data set. We know which row we're on. We can then use VLOOKUP, and that's what we used pretty much all the way until we got to these little calculations at the end. Now, to speed up VLOOKUP, because we have to specify the column number here, I put the column numbers in using the column formula. I put the column numbers in the position within the array, within the range that we gave to VLOOKUP. Ian, I think this sometimes happens in your files, doesn't it? I leave the column numbers in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and you're like, why are the numbers in there? Yeah, it's because I've been doing that kind of position control.
And to put that first one, you've put -7 because that's where you wanted the one to start, was in the 8th column.
That's right. That's right. So A, of course, just very quickly, A, of course, has a column 1. So you might need some kind of adjustment, like a little subtraction. Also got the row formula too.
Yeah, like that. Okay.
Good. Good stuff. Joe saying thank you. Can't see any further questions in the chat. So enjoy the football today.
Alistair, just going back, Alistair has got that filter. I don't know whether your chat saves when we finish, but there at 9:34 is the how to get both home and away games in one filter.
Oh, okay, very nice. Yeah, I've got it. Yeah, so all of the chat comments will be saved in YouTube. So the replay is accessible on YouTube anytime, and you'll be able to see the chat there. So yes.
I mean, you are now, that's the two coders that I've got. You obviously do the Excel. Alistair does my football data. You've both got one thing in common. Neither of you can spell. If you look at Alistair's there to get the both home and away.
Yeah. I mean, but just to make a quick comment here, Alistair, you see he's got a plus there. He's got a plus and an asterisk. Now that plus means or, you see, and that's what we want. And then the multiplication means and. So yeah, very nice stuff there from Alistair.
I'll start my spelling tuition for coders YouTube channel after the World Cup's done.
Yeah, good stuff. So we'll be back same time, same place tomorrow. Yeah.
Same time, same place tomorrow. So England a struggle, draw Wales versus the US, get on over 1.5 goals, Netherlands, Senegal, let the game start. That's it from me on a punting side. Chrissy,
amazing,
fantastic as always, and I'll put you through the ringer.
It's all good. I love
it. I'm going to enjoy this next 3 weeks. It's going to be brilliant.
Oh, I love it. Well, guys, you've got to stick with me here. Got to stick with me. We'll see you tomorrow then, guys. Take care. Same time, same place for World Cup Daily Show. Take care.
Okay. Cheers.